This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
All right, welcome back, A and Deviant's Junior Adventures and Friends, to another side quest, the episodes between the episodes. I am MK Gibson, and I'm here with a wonderful panel of Misty Massey, Robert Bevan, Steve Weverill, and our good friend Sandy Butchers, newcomer to our little friendly community. How's everybody doing? Everybody have a good Christmas? Good New Year's?
Oh, Gibby, I'm so full of meat.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on. We're stopping the podcast.
It beats the Dutch oily ball, so keep him talking.
No. Tell me more about how you're full of meat, Steve. I need to hear this.
Not in the sexy way, Gibby. It's Christmas.
Oh, no. If you talk slow and right, you can.
I'm going to wait till February for that meat revelation.
Oh, my God.
The season of romance. This is just a season of mass consumption.
I thought you meant you needed a month before you passed the amount of meat that you took in.
Oh, yeah, that too. I feel like I'm in the end of Akira right now, except it's all ham.
I eat my body weight in turkey, so I know what you're saying.
I'm putting a ham in the oven later today.
Oh, God.
Is that code for sex?
Code for something.
Is it bad that either way I still want ham?
We're having ham and black-eyed peas and greens because that's how you do it around here.
Oh, yeah, I guess there were some vegetables in there somewhere. It's not important.
No, they never are.
No.
What about you, Bevan? What'd you dine on this fine holiday season?
Pretty much the same. Ham, turkey, and vegetables mixed in with different casseroles, which I quite like. That's not just something I do out of obligation. I do like the artichoke casseroles and whatnot.
That sounds horrible to me. But
I
think it was during our Yule Blob podcast we talked about, because my favorite meal of the season is the traditional Thanksgiving meal. I want turkey and mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce and all that stuff. Well, in our family tradition, Christmas is just Thanksgiving part 2. So my mom, when she fed us, made so much that it took me 4 days after Christmas to finish it. So I had Thanksgiving, again, 5 days of Thanksgiving meals, and it was everything I wanted it to be, and I could eat some more right now. But we're out, so...
My family lives on the South Carolina coast, so our Christmas Eve tradition is seafood. So we had shrimp and scallops and oysters and onion rings that my brother-in-law does, and they're phenomenal. And y'all are just missing out because those onion rings are worth waiting a year for.
Wow!
My dad brought over a turkey fryer
Yes!
for Thanksgiving, so we had fried turkey, and that was good. But thing about it is it takes like 3 gallons of cooking oil, and
I used to do those.
Yeah, that's kind of expensive. So
it does.
You don't want to not cook 3 or 4 turkeys.
You're just siphoning from your neighbor's car.
What about you, Sandy? What are some Dutch holiday traditions? What do you got going there?
Well, we've got the oliebollen, which I posted on Facebook earlier, but the rough translation would be oily balls, and that takes this conversation to a whole different level.
It was headed there anyway.
Steve's face fucking lit up when you said oily balls.
Yeah, I know. And he started like, I'm full of meat, and I was like, keep talking, because, dude, what I've got to tell you.
Filled with oily balls.
I'm stuffed with oily balls.
Well, that's brilliant. That's the rest of the podcast sorted. We normally start these things kind of laissez-faire with not much clue where we're going to go. But now that you've said
now we know
that the Dutch eat oily balls for Christmas,
yes.
I think we can just riff on that. New Year's Eve, even better.
She speaks for the entire country of the Netherlands that you are
I am
all
now
oily
the
balls.
representative of all the Dutch.
Because what you do on New Year's Eve is the traditions are you're supposed to start as you mean go on. So why not just chug a load of oily balls?
Right? I mean, when you got to get that.
Do you juggle your balls and then toss them in the air and catch them in your mouth?
No, we deep fry them first.
All right. Do you let the balls sit on the chin?
You're speaking this Southern girl's language.
Exactly.
That's just called a hush puppy. You're having hush puppies.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like Donuts with raisins would be the nearest thing, but it doesn't quite cut it. There is no equivalent anywhere but what we have. I don't know, man. I
You
don't know how
what?
to explain
This is a weird coincidence because I was talking to a Sicilian friend of mine, and they have some kind of bull-shaped treat for New Year as well. So I don't know if this is, maybe I'm just missing out. Has America and England missed something? Is everybody else eating balls in the world right now?
We watch a giant ball.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we don't even have that in England. We're really missing out on the balls
We
here,
put balls on our trees,
I guess.
but we don't
Put
make food
spaceships
balls.
on my tree.
Arancini or something, apparently, a Sicilian general ball-shaped treat. So there you go. Don't let anyone tell you I'm not a cultural man.
We do sausage balls for Christmas morning.
I like sausage balls are good.
Brilliant.
Everybody's got their balls.
Everybody
It's not
does.
about
I feel
Everyone's got
better.
it.
Everybody loves balls in one way or another.
We can all come together over this.
See,
I feel included.
it's such a small world.
All right,
Oh.
goodness. All right, so Sandy, what are you doing here? Tell us about yourself. What are you doing here?
What am I doing?
What are
Well,
you
I'm-
doing here, man?
What the fuck are you doing here? Also, it's funny.
Where
It's like
the hell did you come from?
Keep asking myself.
I told her ahead of time she can't swear, but the rest of us are going to. So
Honestly, please do
Did you
swear.
place any bets on timers? Did you have any?
no, we like Bevan let it off with "fuck you," and it was just that was the clue. So. So we're all writer types, and I met Sandy in a Facebook group, like, and was it January of 2022? So it's been 2 years now.
If you tell me it was 10 years ago, I believe you too, man.
It was actually 2 years almost to the like now. It was like January of 2022 is when like that thing started. And we met, we started hanging out.
Yeah.
So floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
About me, well, basically, I'm the little, I'm your sidekick. Everybody knows that.
That's bullshit. See this fire?
No.
It's because you taught me how to do it.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take credit for that. No, I am a Dutch author and illustrator, and I've been writing for a couple of years now. I've been drawing for even longer. But yeah, given I met over a Facebook group for authors, then we discovered we both play a game called Destiny, and we just became friends over that. And ever since, he dragged me into stuff like Technomancer, and he dragged me into stuff like, well, woman, you start writing your own books and finish them for once, please, and all that kind of
you
stuff.
had
So-
already you had already written like the Singularian, like, and that's what one of the guys we got together about that was like you wrote this cyberpunk grimoire style book that you illustrated yourself and put out a hardback. And it was one of those and you were already in indie publishing. You just were like railing about it. So
I was in indie publishing, and I had worked on a couple of anthologies before, and I wrote a lot of short stories. And through those short stories, I started to work on my own short story collection, which ended up being the Singularian. So that was a huge hardcover book. You can see a couple of them standing here next to me. And they're like anywhere between 150 and 200 short stories, but they're all connected. So I kind of created this whole universe through short stories and illustrations. So that's pretty much where I think my story, like my adventure as an author, started, because that was where I finally started to take myself and my job seriously on this. And after that, a lot of things happened, and I wrote a couple more manuscripts. I found a literary agent, and I'm still going on that adventure. So it's a never-ending story, I think. At least I hope.
oh no, it's over. We're done. This is it. Good talk.
All
You're
right,
out.
well, cool. It was a great talking to all of you.
That's what you get for wasting our time. We
That
ran
is
out of time.
true.
We ran out of time juice because
Yeah.
I was telling everybody like she's one of my technical go-to people when I'm
I
working
know.
on it, whether it's
This is my entrance.
and then she shows up on like a 240p camera in the background. You can't see anything, and it's all very ramshackled. And,
Do you know how badly your background is lagging on my screen? It cannot compute with the fire and moving background, and it's, dude, I got this little man with a hammer and a chisel hacking out stuff in a stone slab because there is no chipset in this laptop. Nothing.
Here, I'll switch to snow. Is that any better?
No, it's nothing better.
Oh, okay.
Just making me cold.
It's fine. For those listening without the aid of YouTube, you too can see Gibby's lagging animations and Sandy's 1990s webcam on our channel. So please do check that out.
on a CRT.
I asked my husband to use the electric bicycle to charge the battery while my laptop is going. So we got this.
Well,
I swear we have power here in the north.
Like, faster, man, faster.
We just invented electricity here, so bear with me.
Oh, we've played enough like games, and I don't mean to pick on Bob, but it's like one of those like we'll be getting ready to do a D&D game, and like something happens. Like, Bob, how many tabs do you have open? He's like, none of your business. And it's just all.
All you need to know.
I'm so glad you can't see it right now.
Ballpark for me. You don't have to be an exact count, but ballpark over 20
Oh,
Yeah.
or over 10.
let's not get into this. I don't
Over
think
20.
he even has anything on those tabs. I think they're all just
Yeah.
Google homepage.
It's all Google?
Yeah.
Google it.
Every
Casey
one
has
of
a
them.
question.
Every one of them is necessary.
How much porn does a man need?
Well, that's what Bevan's going to die trying to find out, Kippy. That's his life quest.
I guess that it's like the old Mr. Al commercial from the Tootsie Roll Pop. How much porn does a man need? 3.
Oh, well, so your main, I guess, universe you operate in, you've just been exploring via the medium of short stories, which I guess isn't a usual route into indie publishing. Most people kind of, I guess, do what Misty and Gibby and Bevan have done, whereas you start a novel, you build from there, just novel. But you've gone for something a little bit more, or a little bit less obvious, I guess.
Yeah, and and that was a good thing as much as it was a bad thing because it was backwards. People often don't understand what to do with it, especially publishers don't know what to do with it.
Hmm.
So I was like, well, I may have shot myself in the foot, but you know what? I made it work. So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But it's
I guess ultimately, if you got to write what you want to write in order for your vision to be there, and it not being publisher friendly, I always thought that was kind of the cool thing about indie publishing. But
What's funny is that short stories were actually, once upon a time, were the way to break in. When I first started writing, you wrote short stories and you submitted them to magazines, which were these paper like books,
Oh
but
my
they were
God.
soft on the outside and you paid money for them.
Misty,
And,
I'm turning to dust right now.
but that was what you did. You wrote short stories and you submitted them and you started selling to magazines. And then after you had a few dozen short stories published, publishers would pay more attention to your novel length work. And that has, of course, gone away with the internet and the way that we consume writing nowadays. So I can understand why your publisher would have looked at your short stories and said, I don't know what to do with this, because they're probably all younger than me too.
yeah.
And
Well, and it wasn't necessarily just the fact that it was short stories, it was also illustrated, and the illustrations were part of the story as much as the actual story. Like, there were clues and riddles and puzzles hidden inside these illustrations, and it was like part interactive reading, part normal reading. It was everything that I love most. Like, I love looking at, I mean, Gib, Destiny 2 lore cards.
Of course.
Like, you find a weapon inside this game, and this weapon has its own little backstory, and they tell you that in an entry that's like 300 words long, and then the picture of the weapon. And I thought, okay, that format is really, really freaking cool. And there's like, I don't know, you walk around in this world, and you stumble upon a weird secret, and it leads you down a rabbit hole, and I wanted all that. So that was really the way how I started. Okay, so what do I like in this world of stories and writing? And I gathered that all together, and that turned out to be the Singularian. So I cannot explain to you what it is exactly, because it's so many different things. And right now, I think that is a good thing, because it's something that I have never seen before in the market. But again, it shoots me in the foot as well, because how the hell do I market this? I don't know.
I do find that pretty intriguing. I mean, I always joke on the podcast, we play like Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd never played an RPG before I came on the podcast. It's why I'm so great at
It shows.
But,
Fuck, you're
Gibby,
great.
people like to see me fail. That's the secret.
No,
of
they
my
like
success.
you. I mean, no, you're actually really good at it, and it's disgusting how good you are at it with not having any baggage behind it. So I'm just kind of jealous. So,
But something I used to do is all my nerd friends who did play these games, who I never admit to knowing in real life, I would dig through their games and their bestiaries and stuff, and their just the background lore. I just enjoy kind of ingesting that stuff and getting a picture of the world building that isn't necessarily one narrative kind of experience.
You're not wrong, Steve. I have plenty of like RPG books from like back in the day. I've never played the games. I just love the books because I love the art. I love the grimoire. I like these
cool.
like this. Even some of those werewolf like the what. I played a few werewolf games, but I loved those books, those rule books, because the art's cool, the history's cool, the history of the werewolves and the vampires and all that stuff. It's like those are really neat and very well done, and I applaud people with that kind of like mind. I'm just kind of stuck in doing my thing. But when I read Sandy Singularity and we became friends, my review was, this is art. It's not a like 3-act structure story. It is these short stories, like she said, stitched together that tell a story overall, but it's all in these lore cards in the grimoire style. But with the art added to it, the entire book is an art piece. And I can see what you're saying. It's hard to market the art piece, but when I eventually like broke them down and put out like 4 paperbacks, 4 ebooks, finally, I remember when we were sitting around the computer, like agonizing over that together, like just
oh yeah,
just fucking do it already,
4 hours.
There was a book back in the late 80s called Treasure. I don't remember who wrote it, but it was a story about a young woman who was searching for this golden horse, and she had to follow all these clues. And the idea was that you were supposed to follow the clues that she found, and you could actually find a real golden horse statue. It was really made of gold, and it was worth a lot of money, and it was hidden somewhere in the continental United States. So I think that's where you messed up. See, you needed to have a really valuable prize.
Oh, it's only the fate of humanity that we're pawning here. So
right? Who cares about that?
geocaching.
No, put some jewels or something in a box and hide them in a forest. And
don't give me ideas. Don't do
just
this.
a picture. Just a picture of you with a middle finger. That's all it is. Like, you wasted your time. Go get a life.
Here's a sticker. Now fuck off.
Exactly. A picture of my cat's asshole that she's always showing me anyway. So
Nice. I'll dig for that. Yeah. I mean, I guess you say like it's difficult to market to publishers, but maybe that's because publishers are just fucking boring. I mean, this sounds pretty intriguing to me. I'd check it out based on that description alone. So, and everybody knows that I make great decisions. So that's my endorsement, Authors and Dragons listeners.
Well, it's one of those things like, because Sandy actually is like, all right, do you want to talk about the Hugo thing, or how do you want to present this without pissing off Dutch Landia against you? So
Jesus. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a week ago, a bit more than a week ago, I got an email from a guy who had read my books, and he apparently had rallied a couple of other people, and he said, well, but we want to nominate your book for a Hugo Award because this is the most amazing stuff that I've read, and it's great, it's fantastic, so original, and you got the illustrations, and you got a story that is just more than just he was like putting a lot of feathers up in my
He was gushing. He was gushing.
he was giving it all, and I got really enthusiastic about that. So I said to people, I got nominated for Hugo Awards, but I was apparently too soon in making that official statement because nominations aren't officially open yet. But I mean, it's happening. Regardless of everything else, it's happening because there is this group of people who are now seriously putting in my name with my work, into the Hugo nomination. So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the Hugos. You want to have a following that is really pushing you, because my first novel was actually included on the long list for the Campbell.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
The long list is very long.
Understood. Dude, I'll take any list. Are you kidding me? I'll be on any list and I will sell to any streaming service right now. I don't care. I am a whore. I'm a dirty whore.
All I'm on is a no-fly list. That's all I got going for me.
Something else.
I'm on a blacklist. Does that count?
The Campbell is for new writers, and so that's why it got on, and it was nice. But I didn't know at the time that I really needed to be gathering people to it and getting people to talk about it more online. I didn't understand how these things work because it's been a minute, and so I'm glad to hear that there are people rallying around your book already, because that's only going to help.
Yeah, yeah, and that's pretty much what I'm currently campaigning as well. And like I've had a couple of interviews here in the Netherlands, with these book groups and Facebook groups and YouTube channels and everything. Because if you look at the statistics, and that's really just looking at numbers, you need anywhere between like 50 or 60 supporting nominations to even get anywhere. Like I'm currently at 25% of that, so I don't know, maybe 15, 16 supporters. I mean,
Hey.
it's happening, but I mean, dude, if I can get 40 more. But I feel exactly what you're saying. Like if you don't know this, you get this email from someone saying, well, we want to nominate you, and you're like, yes, it's so fantastic, and then nothing happens. So yeah.
Right.
I was happy that I was sort of informed, albeit not entirely correctly informed.
Okay, so I would say the sort of informed, like when Sandy was going through this and I was talking with her, we were going to blah blah blah, and then some blowback from some other people who remain nameless were like, you can't do this and how dare you, and kind of know your place. And that there's some assholes out there within their community, the Dutch community. So they were like
Wow.
shitting on her, feeling good about herself kind of thing, and that's like,
Yeah.
man, this business is already kind of shitty. It's one of the reasons I like when I met you all, everybody's supportive and not destructive. And that's one thing I like about the group. And that's why I wanted to have Sandy on, was just because more support. I mean, whether this gets nominations or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just like, lift people up, man. Like we're all at various stages of our writing careers, and it's what we all love to do. And I want to see more of that happen. That's why I spread the love a little bit. Sandy's been a good friend of mine for the last 2 years. Like if I can help, just, hey, here's some more of the people. If you like her books, go on Kindle Unlimited and at least check some of these out, or pay for them if you want to too. So,
That'd be great.
Definitely pay for them, listeners.
No, pay for mine. You can get hers on Kindle
your
Unlimited.
offer.
No, listen, we were all here on time. Pay for ours. You can get hers on Kindle Unlimited. So, no, all right.
Yeah. The also the thing about the Hugos is that the only people who can nominate and vote are people who have paid for a membership to WorldCon.
Yes.
WorldCon. So, you do need to make sure that the people that are supporting you understand that they can support you all they want, but somebody's got to cough up the money and and do that.
Oh, there's
too,
a paywall. Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
paywall is a big thing, and I mean, because how, at least again, this is here in the Netherlands. As soon as you start explaining to people that they have put this behind a paywall and that they need to pay at least a supporting membership, and they have to do it even before the 31st of January, they need to spend £45 to nominate your work and then hope that it gets through so they can vote for you. It's
Right.
it's a whole thing. It's quite a thing to explain, and so far, a lot of people, they were like, well, your work is worth it, so shut up and take my money. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. I'm super
Excellent.
appreciative of that, but I cannot expect everybody to just go into this blind. Like, dude, if I could give everybody free books, as soon as they bought the ticket, I would. I really would. And I will give everybody ebooks, and I will give you everything that I can to make up for that money. But in the end, I cannot force people to do this. So I just
Right.
hope for this kind of support that, showing me. And you guys are also just showing me by, letting me talk about this stuff here. But it's pretty much all you can do. It's very exciting, and it's very scary.
The one thing you did well was like when you there was that one thing you were telling some people, like you gave you your spiel and says, hey, I'll give you free ebooks and you don't even have to vote for mine. It's like,
No,
if you
you
buy
can
a
vote
ticket to
for
WorldCon,
everything.
I'll give you free ebooks, but you don't even have to vote for mine. If you like it, great. So there's that level of transparency that I think like resonates with some folks. That, like, if they have the 50 whatever dollars to like laying around, cool. But like, hey, I understand. Like, times are tough. So
Yeah, that's exactly it.
now she expected me to vote, and so she strong armed me into buying a fucking ticket, and I
And I
did.
said, did you buy two?
No, because I haven't got
You
my
cheap
free shit yet.
bastard.
Yeah, but where's my free shit? Where's my free shit?
Dude, you have all my shit already. What more do you want?
It's the
I can-
principle.
Oily balls.
So, so are
Oily
you going
balls.
to go to?
Exactly.
Are you going to
You
go to
gotta-
WorldCon?
No, I want to, but it's in Scotland. I would love to go, but it's one of those like, no,
Right.
I just bought the supporting member thing. No, I would love to do that, but that's an entire family planning thing. Like, I can't tell my wife, deuces, I'm going to Scotland. Oh, no. That would be like, no, we're taking everybody. So like 3 people flying to Scotland. Like, we're looking at a multiple $1,000 investment to get all of us from like the East Coast to Scotland. And
All
Places
that
to
for a
stay.
nomination? Come on.
But see, we could fly over, then we could hang out at Steve's for a while.
That
Yeah,
is true.
Scotland and England are just like a stone throw away. Actually,
Listen.
by American standards, they probably are.
For American standards, it is. Like when I drove to the A&D con, that was 7 hours from Maryland to North Carolina. So yeah,
How far a drive is it, Steve?
Whereabouts in Scotland is it?
is it
Glasgow.
Glasgow?
Glasgow this year, yeah.
It's in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what time of year?
Summer, August, yeah.
Oh, August. All right, August in Glasgow might be fucking bearable, I guess.
I was last time I was in Edinburgh in October, and that was kind of cold and shitty. So
It's always cold and shitty in Edinburgh. I mean, it doesn't matter
That's
what
true.
time of year.
I have a cultural right to rag on Glasgow a bit. That's when Corby first founded. It was all villages, and then they built a steelworks factory that basically looked like Mordor. And they're like, we can't get anyone to work in this shithole. Let's bust a load of people down from Glasgow. So I guess like people from Glasgow thought, where's the one place that's better than where we are, and came here. But I guess I could go back to vote at Worldcon or show my support. But yeah, that is like an 8-hour drive, which
it's really.
again in America, I guess is nothing.
Yeah, but do you take a train? Do you drive? Do you ride a horse? Do you get a dragon? How do you get there? How do you
take a train?
Train would be a lot longer, wouldn't it?
That's the thing about the trains. Yeah, they're not. Sometimes it is quicker to drive.
The last time I was there, I
If
took a
they
train
go.
from like Leeds Harrogate up to Scotland, and I went to Edinburgh that way. But it was we were on a smoking train. I'm sure that's outlawed now. So
Oh man, even in Glasgow, unbelievable. Even the Scots have wimped out on that. Okay.
it breaks my heart.
Oh, there you go then. Plan B. Yeah, everybody come to my house, and we'll get a horse and carriage up to Glasgow with just a little bit of hypothermia and very little interference from bandits, I imagine.
Because we're too slow. Yeah.
They're not gonna rob somebody on a horse and cart. What are they gonna take? Our dignity?
They'll steal your horse, and we put Gip in front of the cart, and then he can pull us over there.
Now,
There we go.
Steve,
We get to make it there cheaply and sexily.
no, I saw that dance. Like for whatever reason, that dance you drunkenly did on Bevan, that one A&D con keeps coming up my feed for whatever reason. You just grinding all up on him
for whatever reason.
How I pleasure myself is my business, sir, and you don't get to like shame me for this.
You can't fool the algorithm, my friend. It knows what you want.
It knows what I like. Speaking of likes, what is it that you all want out of 2024? We're all here. We got our careers ahead of us, or just personal.
Same Worldcon 2024 in Glasgow. Obviously, we all want Standy to dominate that with fire and vengeance. I think. Let's get it out of the way.
I told her as soon as she gets to talk as much shit about all the authors that like shit on her on the way up. So like just use it as a platform to just be a real asshole. I would.
Sandy, I'd love to tell you you've been the most culturally significant thing in Glasgow since, but I don't know how to finish that sentence, so sorry.
Since, and we'll make it a user poll, like put something in the comments or something, like since what? We'll let people vote for that.
That comment's probably going to get me a little bit stabbed anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, 2024. Not getting stabbed.
What do you want out of 2024, Misty?
To finish all these damn projects that are sitting on my computer not finished yet, and that my publishers look at me with a really bad side eye and go, you got projects to finish. I want to finish those, and then I want to sell more books. I want this to be worth it financially. It's worth it emotionally, but I want it to be worth it financially.
That's hell yeah, Bob. Same answer. What do you got?
I also want to sell more books, and now that I've had this conversation today, I kind of want the Hugo I'm owed for Space Puppies.
Hey, Chuck Tingle got nominated. I see
that.
no reason that Bevan can't be nominated too.
I mean, I wrote that specifically for Hugo, which has not been handed to me yet.
Yeah, you wrote the worst book that's ever been written. but you read it with purpose
Mhm.
and laser focus.
Oh, it's
And
so
I
bad.
think they should at least acknowledge that with some kind of special award, like the "Please Don't Do This Again" award or
Well,
something.
like the Academy Awards has the Razzies like the night before for like so what's that in literature? Can we start doing that for A&D, like our version of the
The
fuck up
Golden
awards?
Onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the people at the Hugos like just and said, "And now silence from the crowd, please," and then just symbolically emulated a copy of Space Puppies without saying anything, I think that'd be appropriate. I think that'd be justified.
What do you want out of 2024, Steve?
Oh, geez. Well, I ain't going to say I'm going to sell more books because that's not happening. Luckily, I have a normal person job, so I don't have to worry about selling books. So I
You
guess
actually
I'll
have to
carry
start
on.
writing some more.
Yeah, I'll focus on actually writing a book. As people who listen to the Adventure Brodio every Wednesday, sometimes not, but every Wednesday on our YouTube channel, I am working on Celebrity Meat Burger, a science fiction tale that is apparently so accurate I have to keep on rewriting it because the world keeps becoming more ridiculous. But expect that in 2024/5. We'll see.
Okay, Sandy, aside from the Hugos, what do you want out of 2024?
Man, I kind of told myself that I want my agented manuscript to find a publisher this year. So that's going to be out in submission pretty soon, and I hope that I'm going to get a bite on it. So that's, yeah. If
So-
that happens, then my year is good.
You went from 150,000 words down to 98,000. Is that accurate?
Thank you for reminding me. I'm still
it's-
bleeding. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It was a big manuscript, and like the moment we thought we were done, my agent said, "Well, but you got to cut it down to like 94, 95," and I was like, "Well, okay."
You just
And
lost a
I got
novel's worth of words then.
Really?
yeah. It hurt so badly, but I did it, and it's, you know what, I'm quite okay with what came out. I mean, sure, I'm missing a lot of my characters,
Hmm.
but it's it turned out all right, and it's
That's
98,
literary
so
Stockholm syndrome. Like, it's okay. I don't
I'm
mind.
fine.
Someone who's
fine.
been in a car accident. It's like, well, I only lost my foot.
Yeah, except for my leg was also still attached to that foot, so I lost a lot more than just the foot, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I got it done, and did it hurt? Yes, it did, and it's I am completely behind what I'm going to submit right now. So it would be dumb if I said, well, actually, it's a very shitty book now. I'm not gonna. It's good. It's good as it is, and I'm glad I got it done. It's I don't know, a feeling of accomplishment in there. I managed to do it, and then I'm fine with that.
That's cool.
Glad to hear it. That does sound tough, actually.
It is, yeah.
But we'll leave you to your pain. Gibby, what do you want from 2024?
I think I just repeating the wheel there. Obviously, I want to finish the book I'm working on. Like, I'm dabbling right now in that whole gamelit, like progressive fantasy like genre kind of thing, but I'm doing my own little spin on it. And I want to like crank that out, and like, because I'm halfway through, and I would like to, I want to like just kill Matt Dinniman. Just take all of his I just want to eat his lunch. No, he's fucking amazing. We all know it. And the worst part is he's such a good guy that it hurts. Like, if he was,
yeah.
it's just God, because when he goes out that in the nights, he's buying drinks for everybody, and he's such a social dude, and he's like just down to earth, and he's like sits with fans and plays games. Like, could you just be an asshole, please? Like, that would make me a whole lot happier. But no, so like, I want to finish that, and I have a lot of open projects. Sandy's heard me bitch about this stuff plenty of times. Like, I have so many open projects, and I need to, like, there's obviously the one that makes money, the villains books. Don't wait 2 years to write the sequel like I did last time. So I've got to crank out that in 2024. And I also want to go back to my Technomancer well and finish out that series. But I've got 2 books left in that. But like, I've been like, that series has been so bittersweet for me because like I love it, but I know this is going to be the end. And I've got 2 books left. So basically I'm going to sit down and write books 6 and 7 back to back because I know that like this is how the story ends. And it's like, and I'm having the hardest time hitting like scene 1. And I'm like, I don't know. I've got all these notes of things I want to do, but I'm having the raging writer's block when it comes to just sitting down and getting this shit done. So I just want to go to my writer's block and just crank out a bunch of projects. And I want to start working on short stories. I'd say not short stories, but more like novellas. like just bite-sized fun stories that I could put like a collection thereof, like just I'm going to try new things
Cool.
Nice.
That's just cool.
and play more D&D with these idiots. So
Yeah, I know what you're saying about Matt Dinnerman. I like to think that Bevan and I have a reputation for drinking at cons, but every time I've seen Matt Dinnerman, I think, oh shit, here we go. But maybe, if you do decide to kill Matt Dinnerman, you might save other lives.
oh no,
I'm
I
just
think I would
putting
be
that out there.
attacked. Yeah, people would know. I would save lives, but then like, man, the
I
entire
know.
like half the Facebook groups would just come at me. So
I
no.
know. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you'd survive the backlash. I'm saying I would, and that'd be okay.
Dick.
Yeah, more
What's your-
D&D. Certainly, I guess 2024, what have
Absolutely.
people have got to look forward to in Authors and Dragons? Quest for Competence still going strong, so follow that. I think we're going to be starting a new side game. Exciting things, but I can't really tell you too much. All I can tell you is it's going to be awesome and great, and if you miss it, you'll want to die. So look forward to that in 2024. But other than that, I don't think I have any plans other than kind of like, if you like Adventure Brodio, that'll probably still happen. If you like the main game, Quest for Confidence, please do keep on tracking along with that. But we are going to be doing some new shit. So keep an ear out for that too. Or an eye, if you're on our YouTube channel. Or both, I guess. You can listen and watch on YouTube. That's the thing you can do now.
like just listening things now, like
Just listen.
or
You could experience us with eyeballs and ears as well. We're working on
what
taste.
we should probably do is like have like an auto thing that just auto generate these show notes or read it in on some page. If you just want to read this transcript of
Yeah.
shit, feel free.
Oh, actually, speaking of sensory experiences, hold in your hand Authors and Dragons comic books. We eventually got issue 3 out to everybody. Look forward to issue 4 in 2024. I will say that with an unreasonable amount of confidence, but yeah, it's definitely going to happen. No problems, no issues with that. Issue 4, Authors and Dragons comic book, 2024, definitely going to happen.
Very cool.
I'm looking back, like what are your pros and cons of 2023? Anything stand out?
Speaking of which, it took us a lot longer than we thought it was going to get everybody's copy of issue 3 out to everybody in 2023. That experience pretty much spanned the entirety of the year, I think. So apologies to anybody who didn't get that on time, which is all of you. But thanks for backing anyway, and I hope you're satisfied with the finished product, if not the time frame in which it was delivered. So that's my con for 2023.
Anybody? What about you, Misty? Got any pros and cons?
I was sad that I didn't get to go to Authors and Dragons Con out in
you were
Portland
missed.
because thank you. I really would have liked to be there. It just wasn't going to work out for me this year. And of course we don't know when the next Authors and Dragons Con might happen, and so it was very bittersweet to have to miss it. But I do hope that we have another one somewhere down the line, because the ones I have been to have been an absolute ball, and I want to do it again and see everybody. So that was kind of a downside, but on the upside, I did get to go to some other events and see some awesome people, and I got to meet Rebecca Roanhorse, who writes some books I'm really crazy about. So that was really fun. So so there were ups and downs.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Bob, what you got?
Cons, people are still failing to buy my books. That's not good.
Well, if I can, there's that big con with the whole Amazon kerfuffle with your books. That was a big
yeah.
con.
That
Oh
was-
God.
Yeah.
But I mean that it didn't last too long. But yeah, that was not a fun time.
A systemic
Even one
attack
day
on
was
people
long
buying
enough.
your books. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't buying them anyway. Amazon, fuck you. And then pros, on the way back from my parents' house on Christmas, we stopped at a Buc-ee's and I got a club melt, and that was really good.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
I don't know what a club melt is.
I want to change my con from
Sandwich.
2023 to Bevan's plus story.
I got a
This is
sandwich.
the
It was a really
saddest
good
thing you've ever said to me. I want to retroactively make that my con. Thank you.
Sandy, pros and cons of 2023.
Technomancer illustrated version, I think. I would say.
That was a pro.
Well, that was
For
last
those who
year,
don't know,
wasn't it? That wasn't
It was
23.
2023. So is that your big con? Spent wasting all that time to get like how many euros for the page you got paid for that? So
Whether that's a pro or a con, I'll leave that up to you.
so those who don't know, we collaborated. Like we took one of my books, my first book, and we did an illustrated hardback edition, and we ran it in Indiegogo. And you can buy it on Amazon now. It's like but it's like a nice hardback thing, but with illustrations. Like there's an illustration per chapter, and we just did reformatting, everything, new cover, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of backers, and it was pretty cool. And it was I'm just picking on Matt because he's not here. I showed this to Dinamit at the con. And then that motherfucker ran a Kickstarter and did like $500,000 on his when he did like an illustrated like dungeon crawler car. Like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, we were
I
not
love that
salty about that.
Oh,
Yeah. So maybe that was the con.
I get real strong kill Matt Dinneman vibes from this episode of the podcast.
No, it's one of those scenarios. Like, actually, I tease all the time, but like, because we're all friends with him and like that. But like, we were at the con in Portland, and I was talking to some other authors that were outside having like a vape and a smoke and like that. And there was a little bit of like, why not me? They're looking at Matt and Matt's success, and then people have to realize that Matt was writing 10 years before Dungeon Crawler Carl ever happened. Like he was doing work. He was building up to this. It wasn't like his hits. It wasn't the first thing out of the gate. So, everybody's looking at someone else ahead of them. Like, and I slit someone else's throat to be in their spot as well. But someone's also looking behind you saying, I want your spot as well. So it's, that's why I was saying support each other. Don't tear each other down.
Also, he's a bass player in a rock band. And if you've ever been a bass player in a rock band, you've done your time. You deserve any success you get.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you just stand there.
Speaking as a bass player in a rock band, if I suddenly get successful overnight, don't put it down to luck. I did my time being a bass player.
I did my time in pointy. I think my pros and cons would be like they're both like, obviously the work I did with Sandy is a big pro, but also like I got adopted into the A&D crowd after the last con this year. That
I prefer Shanghai. Gibby.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be less culturally insensitive, but let's go with that. Sure. I got abducted, and then immediately after that, they canceled the next con. I'm like, well, fuck me. I'm like, I feel like the albatross that like just killed it. Like I showed up as it's like damn it. And then I got all excited. I'm like playing, like I got to play with all these authors I know I've been reading for years. This is great. And I'm like, so you guys organized? Like, not even a little bit. Oh my god! No. So it is. That's actually kind of a pro because it's been so much fun, just like fly by the seat of your pants and make shit up. So
how was the peek behind the curtain, Gibby? Explain to our listeners exactly how. I mean, they've probably got an idea. We do tell them constantly that we have no idea what we're doing or any plans. But
everybody who knows who the Jorcerer is, like, and like that is the peek behind the curtain. Like, that's what you're staring right at. You are just staring at his wonder. Like, well, okay, you accepted and move on. So that's what it was like. So it was organized chaos. So, but in a fun way, I've had a lot. Actually, I tease about 2023 being bad, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. I met cool people, did cool things. I try to forget the negative shit, I try, and just here I am, it's 2024 and just keep on going,
Yeah, I don't think, again, I'll put as my plus for 2023, Orphans and Dragons Con 23. That was our furthest, I guess, out of reach con we've tried to do on the West Coast in Portland. And it was nice to see everybody turn up for that. We got a few new faces because it was a little bit closer to them and more convenient, and always a good time. I think we could have a convention in the arsehole of hell and still have a good time.
We were in Portland.
Yeah.
Sorry, heinous lizard. I know. I apologize. Also, shout out to that particular A&D friend of ours because she let me, like a lot of us, just ship books to her house and then brought them from her house to the convention. That
was
is a
good.
massive. That's why the good fans are good people, because they like so sweet. I'm like, what do you want out of like repayment? They're like, nothing. I'm like, here, take one of the please take something. By God, you've earned it.
I will put out the caveat. If you're one of those people who says, "Hey, why don't you have a convention in my state?" We'll be like, "Sure, yeah. Let me ship a ton of books and equipment to your house and keep them there for 3 months."
Yes.
And go find us an appropriate hotel that has space.
That's the expectation now. As soon as you put your head above the parapet with a suggestion, you're the leader now, sunshine.
Yeah, that's the thing I learned when I joined this group. If you speak up, you're now the new project manager for this thing. Like, I still don't even know how I don't even have a login for half the stuff they do. They're like, just make it happen. I'm like, oh, I don't know how.
There's a password out there somewhere, I'm sure. I'm not going to find it. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Con of 2023, Rebel Moon. I don't know if you saw that bucket of suck, but
I didn't, because y'all all said it was terrible. So I said, okay, I'm not watching.
Yeah.
I've got too many other things I want to see.
I'm not wasting my time. Yeah, I'm not on the kind of Zack Snyder hating fan club. I do think
neither am I.
He's done some stuff that is kind of visually, I guess, informed the kind of story of cinematic storytelling. Like not a lot of people like Watchmen. I quite like Watchmen. I understand the point that it's very difficult to adapt that, and maybe you shouldn't adapt it. I thought it was fun. Rorschach was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say the Zack Snyder Justice League much better than the Whedon Justice League, even though it was very kind of navel gazing and weighty and way too long for a single movie. Probably would have worked better as a very expensive TV series. But so I'm not seeing Rebel Moon because I'm one of those let's not let Zack Snyder have any successes thing. I'm not seeing it because I've heard everyone says it sucks. So
it's not that it sucks. The problem is it's not unwatchable. It's immediately forgettable. Have you seen A Bug's Life? Have you seen The Seven Samurai? Have you seen that Magnificent Seven twice? You've seen this movie.
Yeah, well, I don't normally mind people repeating like popular themes. That's fine. If anyone out there has read the first Brandon Firemaster book, it is a piss take of the Seven Samurai. They even call themselves the Better Than Average Six. It's pretty obvious what I'm doing there. You can have fun with these things, but
if you put tongue in cheek, this thing takes itself very seriously.
Yeah,
and when you're not in on the joke, it hurts.
I even think then, like, if you want to do Seven Samurai in space, do it. I mean, somebody could do that very cool.
Yeah, it's called Rogue One. We saw it.
Yeah, I guess I'm not in a hurry to see this movie. If it happens to come on the screen and I'm very drunk and I don't want to stand up, I'll probably just watch it. But that's not a good reason to watch a movie. There are better things I could be doing with my time. I could stand up, for example.
Well, that's kind of the same reason I haven't bothered reading Fourth Wing, even though 90% of the planet has read it and thinks
everybody
it's
keeps
God's gift.
telling me this. Yeah, is it good? It keeps showing up in my review all the time. So
I don't know, because I read Pern, the Dragon Riders of Pern. I read that already, and so I'm not interested in this book because it sounds too much like the Dragon Riders of Pern. And I could be fine with her writing her own Dragon Rider story, but when the similarities are sounding so close to something that I already know that well, I'm just not interested in reading your new and thrilling take. So
I am already going to start writing Dragon Riders with perms. It's going to be very 1980s. I don't know what this original book series is about at all, but I already know what mine's about. It's going to be a lot of fucking hairspray.
And I will totally read that, Steve.
Very tiny armor.
Someone's going to have like one of those dangly earrings. Yeah. There'll be some guy with a dangly lightning bolt earring for no reason.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pink and black. All the female dragons have to wear pink and black.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Just dragons with huge eyeliner. Oh, this is going to be great. 2024, Dragon Riders with perms.
Please tell me you're not joking, because I need you to write this.
Oh,
I was going to ask, do you need this illustrated or what?
Oh, God.
The amount of fantastic ideas I've had on this podcast and immediately forgot because I am drunk. I'm not going to guarantee this isn't one of them.
Like Sandy will do that. If you give her an idea for something, you will have a video illustration and a drawing the next day because
We can start with Dragon Riders with perms, the calendar, because then everybody gets what they want like quicker. And then you can start fleshing out the backstory. There's not going to be much of a backstory. It says it all in the title, really. But
how do they become Dragon Riders with perms? Like, what was the great? When did they
because
embrace
it's
this?
cool, Gibby.
And how did he become a dragon rider, or how did he get the perm? I mean, there's two.
I'd like to think
different
that there's
backstories
like
going on
this
there.
super advanced society, and after technology crashes, the only thing they can find is old '80s cassettes, and that becomes their new Bible. And they modeled this.
The only thing they remember is the 80s and
Yes.
how to ride dragons.
Yes,
What does it mean that everyone should Wang Chung tonight? I don't
Exactly.
understand.
But we're going to spend the rest of this 10 series novel finding out.
there's an entire zone that looks like that black and white sketch with the "Take on Me" aha video. Like, oh yeah,
Oh, great.
God.
Well, this is already written, I guess. If you're a Hollywood executive listening to this, and I know you are, you cheap, desperate bastards, leave this idea alone. It's mine. I'm the one who misheard Misty. It's my idea.
all I want is a line in the acknowledgments that I had some small
That's
part
right.
to do with this.
If my lawyers have anything to do with it, you'll get much less than that, Misty. I assure you.
thanks to Misty mumbling into her microphone, I came up with this brilliant idea that is 100% original. That is not what she said. my lawyers can prove it. Also, Sandy, where's your flat cap? Everyone else is wearing one but you. So,
Hey, but I'm Dutch. Come on.
ugh.
We tried to get Misty to have a beard for this podcast as well, but
Hey, Gibby wanted me to wear the fancy hat. I'll show
Yes.
the world the fancy hat,
thank
but
Do I
it
need to
doesn't
wear a
fit
hat?
over the headphones.
Do I need to wear a hat? Because I can grab a hat.
You do now.
I,
But you don't need to. It'll just make the rest of us feel a bit more comfortable, that's all.
my hair was
Oh.
just a mess this morning. Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that is a fancy hat. Actually, now I feel
Nice.
intimidated, so this has not made me feel more comfortable. Everyone's got a nicer hat than me now.
My sister gave me mine for Christmas.
Nobody gave me a hat for Christmas.
I
Now
did. My
feel
mom
bad.
gave me this one for Christmas. So, yeah.
Well, that's
Ooh.
I stole this one for my son.
Oh, I see. I thought you were gifted the top hat, but no, you.
No, I stole
that.
this for my
Excellent.
son. He got this first, like I think it was his birthday. So, like, 'cause he's obsessed with weird hats. He's got a pilgrim hat that he wears to school. Like he's 12, they're weird. But like I keep trying. He has this collection of hats that outshine mine. So I've been stealing his.
That's
So, yeah.
a confident hat choice. I appreciate that.
It is. He's got confidence and no sense of style, but he's got confidence. So
Style happens after confidence, man.
he looks
There you
like that art person, you know, like they wear like the glasses that are kind of yellow and they have their art prints behind them and they dress all weird and you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
Strong
I
look.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
I dig that a lot.
Yeah, I was aiming. It was aimed at you on purpose. I was checking to see if like did it get across the Atlantic and mock you appropriately. So
So, Sandy, before we sign off, because we've derailed pretty massively, before we sign off, tell us about your work previous and the work to come, just once more.
So my previous work is, at this point, also my biggest chunk of work is the Singularian. There are four paperbacks. And for those who are watching, I cannot count to 4 with my fingers. 4 paperbacks. Or they are
Paperback.
4. I'm fully convinced that there are 4 paperbacks. Either that or there's 2 hardcovers because the first 2 paperbacks go into the first hardcover and 3 and 4 go into the second hardcover to make this even more complicated. But yeah, so those are the partly interactive, fully illustrated, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic novels that, as you can tell, I don't know how to market because it's so much. But we're following the end of humanity, and we're trying to save them through people who have become robots. And I'm really making this into a shorter pitch than I maybe should. But there you have it.
It's still a great pitch.
All right. Well, the end of humanity. Yeah. All right. So there's that in the past because that's a finished series right now, and I'm currently working on a manuscript called Bonds of Blood and Silver, which is super high fantasy. It's got dragons, it's got griffins, it's got a lot of
Perms.
drug addiction. Sadly, yeah, perms. Yes, lots of greased hair as well. By the way, And so it's very, very epic, very hatless, by the way. There's no hats in there. But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm hoping to get that into a publisher next year. So that's what has been cooking and what is currently cooking.
Ah, that sounds exciting.
Thank you.
Do you have a website?
I absolutely do. It is actually very simple, sandybutchers.com. And for those who actually want to take a look at the whole Hugo nomination, it's just sandybutchers.com/Hugo. So I try to make this easy for everyone.
Yeah, nice and simple. You hear that, listeners? Nice and simple.
Something we don't know how to do.
Yeah. It's way less convoluted than anything we try to do. Okay. Well, yeah, if you're listening, please do go check that out. I know I will be. I hope you will too. And I guess Happy New Year to everyone. Gibby, you want to take us out?
Not really. You were doing a
No.
great job.
All right.
You were doing
Then,
an excellent job.
Okay, I'll continue taking us out. Happy New Year to everyone. May your year not contain a mediocre sandwich experience and that be the only good thing that happened to you, I guess. And Sandy, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone, let's get stuck into 2024. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and dragons.